Now you will say, sir, okay, it's fine that we have marked or written these 5 points. Can you show us on the map also? Yes, obviously I'll be showing you. While I am reading out these, pause the video and write down all of these in your A4 sheets properly, right? So the Youngfold Mountains that were created and associated features of that basically come under the Southern Mountain Systems. This is again a very important river which is known as Amur River. There has been certain event that took place some time ago that has got to do with Kamchatka Peninsula or the Peninsula region or the Plateau region. Hello aspirants, welcome to PW Only IAS. I'm here Harpreet Singh with the last lecture from the continental mapping series which we have been doing, that is Asia. We've already completed the 6 continents and this is the last continent which we're going to do. So please remember again, as you have done in the past, have your A4 sheets along with you, make the diagrams, keep on noting down the content, keep on revising. If you have done this well, you will be able to attempt most of the questions that come in the preliminary examination and along with it, any type of question with respect to region or continent that comes in your mains examination. So let's begin with today's session, that is Asia. Before we begin, this is again the QR code for the Telegram account where you can find the link of various PDFs along with this. And along with this, if you're preparing for anthropology optional, general studies related to society, social justice, and overall preparation for the civil services examination, you can find in this particular Telegram account. Let's move ahead. We have the Pinnacle 2027 batch. This is a UPSC 2-year batch, a comprehensive batch completely in English, which prepares you well for the prelims, mains, as well as the interview. To know more about it, please check the description link. Now, as you have already seen in the previous series also, that I had made the world map. This is again a hand-drawn world map. Now, if I want to locate where is Asia, very interestingly, you will realize that this is a part which we often tend to say, okay, this is a European part which we have done. This is the Asian part which we have to do. So if I want to see, this is the major dimension. These are all the continents that are present. This is the Asian mass, right? Over here, Ural Mountains is basically separating Europe from Asia. So this region, this complete part, this is Asia, right? Which we are going to study in brief and along with all the intricacies that are necessary for your examination. So we are having studied where Asia is located. Let us see the other part. Now, if you see from the aspect of the oceans that are present here, if you realize this is the region of Asia, right? Over here, you have the Indian Ocean. Here is the Pacific Ocean. And on the north, you have the Arctic Ocean. So again, it is surrounded by 3 oceans. And obviously, on the western side, you have the continent of Europe. Let's have a brief idea about what is Asia. So we have a brief map which we have studied right now about Asia. So we'll be here just as a understanding point of view of where is Asia. And we'll be obviously demarking all the stuff, all the points on the map. So let's understand brief information about Asia. First, Asia is the world's largest continent, and this is something that we had done in the start of the lecture also when we started the series where we had already delineated or demarked that what is the order in which you have to study the continents if you study on the basis of size. So you have Asia as the largest continent. It covers 30% of the Earth's total land area and 8.7% of the Earth's total surface area. Now that is itself denoting the humongous size of the continent. It has Pacific Ocean in the east, the Indian Ocean in the south, and the Arctic Ocean in the north. Obviously, as I've already told you, on the western side, you have the continent of Europe. It houses greater than approximately 60% of the world's population. So automatically 60% of the world's population is here. You know that countries contributing humongously to the population, including countries like India and China, are also present here. Lies entirely in the northern and the eastern hemisphere. So this is again a characteristic which you can be asked in your examination. So this is a brief outline of what you should be aware of. Now, along with these characteristics, please remember, there are certain very interesting things about Asia. Some of the record making of what general knowledge also you need to study, that there are certain things that are present here which make it unique also. Now, along with it, please remember, the world's highest point, Mount Everest, that we very well know, we have studied 8848 meters, is also located in Asia. The lowest point, the Dead Sea, minus 130 meter, that is minus 430 meters, that is 430 meters below the sea level, is also located here. Then you have the largest inland lake, that is the Caspian Sea, is also located here. The deepest lake, that is Lake Baikal, is also located here. Largest peninsula, that is the Arabian Peninsula, also here. Largest delta, that is the Ganga-Brahmaputra delta, which we've already studied in the Indian series also. Largest country, that is Russia. And lowest lying country on the earth, that is Maldives, is also a part of Asia. So that means all these things which you have studied make Asia very unique from the perspective of record making or from the perspective of so many different kind of features that are present in this continent of Asia, right? So now let us study the aspects, especially from the perspective of the physical divisions. Now these physical divisions, as we have done right from the start when we started with the continent of Antarctica, we have been doing these physical divisions because it helps us to understand what are the various categorizations into which we can divide a continent. And along with it, please remember, for each and every division, I have marked or written with respect to economic and social aspect also. So that means while dealing with each and every division, you're holistically covering from the physical, social and economic aspect, right? So let's begin. Northern lowlands, central highlands, southern mountain range, mountain system, eastern highlands and the islands and the island arcs. Now you will say, sir, okay, it's fine that we have marked or written these 5 points. Can you show us on the map also? Yes, obviously I'll be showing you. Please make sure while I am reading out these, pause the video and write down all of these in your A4 sheets properly, right? So these are the 5. Let us see them from the perspective of map. You know that very well, that this is the rough boundary of Asia from here because you have the Ural Mountains here. Obviously it extends till Turkey. So this is the broad understanding. Now see, this is the region of northern lowlands. This region is marked by eastern highlands. This region is marked or understood as central highlands. This region as a southern mountain system. And there are other islands, like these islands are present. These are the part of the group of islands of the island arcs that we study. So this is again the map which is completely making you understand the physical divisions of Asia. Clear? Broad physical divisions. Please remember, there are a lot of books and a lot of websites which give you very different type of divisions. I am using the standard divisions which have been given by the NCERTs. Remember that? Obviously, the new NCERTs are coming. There were NCERTs from the time, the new NCERTs, what the NCERTs are right now you're using are the new ones that have come. From 2005 also, there were certain other NCERTs that came. But before 2005 also, there were certain NCERTs which were having the chapters of Asia, Antarctica and all. So I'm using those particular NCERTs. So that means we are using the government text only to make you understand. Along with it, certain other facts and data have been added so that you have a holistic understanding of those divisions and the chapter which we are studying. So let us understand this one by one. Having seen this, let us understand the northern lowlands. Now you see, the world's widest continuous lowland from the Ural Mountains to the Pacific Ocean. So yeah, right from the Ural Mountains to the Pacific Ocean, you realize, though sometimes remember this very clearly. Sometimes Eastern Highlands is not categorized as a different division. But over here it is mentioned, so we will be taking it because when NCERT is mentioned it, so we have to follow it, right? So it is a continuous stretch. It includes basins of rivers, very important rivers which you're going to see in the diagram of the rivers. Ob, Yensi and Lena rivers are very important rivers in this particular region. Dominated by the tundra in the northern region and taiga forest in the southern part. So obviously this is the type of vegetation that is found here. The population is very sparse. The reason behind it is you very well know that these regions are very cold. These are having very harsh climate. So having large population is not feasible also. That is why you realize that because of the harsh climate, the population is very sparse, very less. The density of population is very less. Indigenous groups. Now this is something very important also. We very well know that every region, or let us say every country for that matter, has indigenous groups or the tribal groups that are native to that particular region. And these questions have been asked in your civil services examination repeatedly. Now, similarly in these regions, you have the Yakuts, the Netis, and the Chukchi. These have been practicing reindeer pastoralism, right? So this is again very important. You can be asked about these particular indigenous groups which are present in this region, right? So these are the indigenous groups that are present here. Please pause the video and you can please note down these content. Okay, let's move ahead. In this region, again from the economic aspect also, you realize that huge reserves of oil, natural gas have been found. Siberian gas fields, coal and timber are very common here. Now the Trans-Siberian Railway, which is actually a lifeline over here across Russia, Though we know that part of Russia is also in this European region, but overall we see a Trans-Siberian Railways is a basic, a very important means which is linking line for Russia. So we have mentioned it over here. Clear? Now please understand this. When we talk about the Siberian gas fields and all, ONGC Videsh has been continuously working over here, exploring the gas fields also and working here. And that is why, please remember, Indian-Russian partnership is very, very critical also, right? From the perspective of energy security. Now, having done the first Northern Lowlands, this is the content that you should be aware of, knowing they can ask you questions out of this, right? So Northern Lowlands, we have studied this. Now let's move on to the Central Highlands. This part, this is a Central Highland part. Now it is located between the Northern Lowlands and the Southern Mountain System. Southern Mountain System is this, so it is between the Northern Lowlands and the Southern Mountains, so like a sandwich between both of them. It includes the Tian Shan Mountains. We will be seeing these, where these mountain ranges are basically present when we will be seeing the mountains, right? Tian Shan Mountain, Mongolian Plateau, Gobi Desert and Taklamakan Desert. So all these important features or landscape features are present in this particular region, right? Harsh continental climate, predominantly nomadic pastoralism or based on camels, horses and sheep. Now similarly, indigenous groups are also found here also. And these again become important from the perspective of your understanding. We will realize that Mongols are present here, Kazakhs are present here, Kyrgyz are present here, and Uyghurs are present here. So these are the types of indigenous groups, or the tribals or the native people that are present in this particular region. Very, very important here, right? Again, they're also practicing pastoralism. So you can quickly note it down, pause the video. These are the physical aspects. These are some aspects related to the social and the economic aspect, right? Next, rich in copper, gold, coal and rare earth minerals. So these are again, there are abundance of minerals also that are present here. Clear? So we have done with the part of the Central Highlands, right? Note it down quickly. Note it down quickly. Okay, let's move ahead. Southern Mountain System. Now you know that very well. The Southern Mountain System basically refers to the Youngfold Mountains. This is an outcome of the collision of the Indian plate with the Eurasian plate, right? So the Youngfold Mountains that were created and associated features of that basically come under the Southern Mountain System. So this is the youngest and the highest mountain formed by the plate collision. And you know that very well, the Indian plate colliding with the Eurasian plate. It includes the Himalayas, Karakoram, Hindu Kush, Arakanayoma, Pamir Knot, and etc. Now, this is also the birthplace of Asia's major rivers. You realize that major rivers like Ganga, Indus, Brahmaputra, Mekong, Yangtze, and Yellow rivers are also found over here. Ethnic groups, Sherpas, Bhotias, Ladakhis, Pashtuns. Now, this is Sherpas, Bhotias, and Ladakhis is something that we have studied in the series when we were doing the Indian geography. When we talk about the Pashtuns, Pashtuns basically refer to the region where the word Pashto is spoken. And when I talk about Pashtuns, it basically refers to the region where border between Afghanistan and India in the northwestern province region of Pakistan is located. Over there, people speak Pashto, and that is why they are known as Pashtuns. These are tribal people, and over here, these are also the ethnic groups that are found here. Even today's time, you realize that recently Pakistan has been raiding those regions. Their own people. So this is also the Pashtun region which the Pakistani army has been raiding. Okay. Tribal and transhumans, Gujjars and Bakarwals again play a very important role here. Clear? Please write it down. Next. Agriculture, apples, peaches, buckwheat, tea in the lower slopes. Again form a very important ingredient of their economic aspect. So please note it down. These are the aspects of the physical features. These are some social and economical features that you should be aware of. Quickly note it down. Note it down quickly. Okay. Next comes the Eastern Highlands. These are the regions of the Eastern Highlands. Now it lies in the eastern side of the Asia. These are again the old fold mountains, not the young fold. These are the old fold mountains that are present here. Heavily forested and moderate height. Now these includes the Manchurian uplands, Korean Peninsula, Chanbai range and etc. Certain sub features like that. We will be seeing when we will be studying the mountain ranges and all. See, these features will be studied there. So there is concentration in the valley region. Other regions have sparse population. Along with it, rich in timber, coal, iron ore in the Manchurian region. Clear? So quickly, please note it down. Okay. Having studied the Eastern Highlands, now let us come to the part, that is island and island arcs. Now you know that very well. You're talking about Japan. Obviously, we are talking about the other islands that are present over here. So these are again very, very important here. Part of the Pacific Ring of Fire marked by frequent earthquakes, volcanoes, eruptions, and deep ocean trenches. We've already done this Pacific Ring of Fire when we were doing the physical geography series, which is along with it going on in parallel. So this region, this particular region is again what the Pacific Ring of Fire region. So obviously there will be a lot of volcanic eruptions, a lot of earthquakes that will be happening here. So because of them, these regions, so these islands are located on that particular belt, and you know these island formation is also associated with it. Terrain is highly rugged. These regions have, particularly the ones which are very developed, the countries which are very developed, they have very high population density. Like high population density is present in the countries of Japan, also in countries of Indonesia. Similarly, advanced urbanization societies, again in Japan also you see this, in Taiwan and Singapore also. Now, maritime culture and busy shipping routes. Now, these regions are very important from the perspective of shipping industries. If you see, Singapore is one of the very major hubs or a port where, again, because it lies in the maritime route. So, along with it, fishing industry is very dominant in these particular countries because these are island nations where huge amounts of export of, let us say, crab meat or fishes generally happens as a means of an important contribution to the economy. Similarly, indigenous groups, if you realize, Ainu in Japan, Igorot in Philippines, Dayaks in Borneo. Now, this question has been asked long ago with respect to these indigenous groups in these countries. So, you should be aware of these because see, you have studied a lot of tribes which are present in India. But there are many indigenous groups or tribes that are present across the world. And they can ask you in your civil services examination, particularly the prelims examination. So, you should be very well aware, right? Note it down, please. Now, let us come to the certain features like mountain ranges and rivers. We've already completed with the physical divisions. Now, the physical divisions is complete, so you have a brief idea. What are the divisions? What type of physical features are present there? And along with it, what are the socio-economic dimension related to each and every division? Now comes the aspect which is very critical because you have been repeatedly asked with respect to the mountain ranges, with respect to the rivers. So you should be very well marking it down on the maps. Either you can have the Asia map with you, ready-made map, or you can make the map of Asia as I've shown you and then mark it. It is up to you. Let's begin. Now, if you see over here, a lot of important ranges have been marked here. And now these are the ranges that you should be aware of also. Let us start over here. Now, this Ural mountain is basically the one which is separating Europe from Asia. So this is like a barrier over here, Ural mountains. Obviously, Asia extends still here because of the Taurus mountains. Again, this is the region of Turkey also. So the extension is here. So Taurus mountain is present here. If you come to the Iranian plateau, you have Zagros mountains over here. If you move towards now India, please remember that I have just marked the important mountain ranges of India because we have already done the mountain ranges of India with respect to the Indian series. That is why I have not marked here Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats and other divisions of the Himalayas. We've already done because it is a huge Asia map. So we are doing it from the major dimensions. So over here, see over here you have the Kirthar mountains. Over here you have the Kirthar mountains. Please mark it down. These are the Kirthar mountain range. Just north to that on the eastern part over here lies the Suleiman range. Now please remember this is a Pamir knot. Let me mark it here. What is this? This is the Pamir knot. This particular region, this is what? The Pamir knot. But it is not because this is again a rugged surface. From this, you will see certain extensions of various mountain ranges that is going. This is very critical, very important point, right? Pamir knot is very often asked also. Now, from the Pamir knot, if you realize, you have this Hindu Kush mountains projecting. Then you have the Teen Shar mountains moving towards the north eastern side. Then you have another mountain range, very important, that is the Kunlun mountains, which is again projecting towards the eastern side. Then you have the Himalayas over here. These are the Himalayan mountain ranges. You should know that in the Myanmar, there is a mountain range that is known as Arakan Yoma. Now, this is basically an extension of the Himalayan range. Please understand that. So, this is what an Arakan Yoma in Myanmar. Further, if you see here, you will have the Atlai Mounts here, right? Going ahead, you have the Great Kingyan Mounts here. Further north in the Russian region, if you have the Kolma range here. Then you have the Chukotsky Mounts here, again in Russia. Again, there is a very important mountain range over here, which is known as Verkhoyansk range. This is again in Russia. Again, in the region of Russia only, you have the Sayan Mounts, S-A-Y-A-N, Sayan Mounts. Now, these are the important mountain ranges that you should be aware of. Clear? So, giving you a minute, quickly pause the video, note it down or mark these content quickly do it. Okay. Hopefully, you have marked this and hopefully it is clear also. These are the very important mountain ranges that are very often asked in the examinations also, right? Okay, let's move ahead. Rivers. See, there are a lot of rivers over here. Now, these rivers again have been asked repeatedly in your examinations also. And let us see one by one. Now, see, this is the river present in Russia, which is known as Ob. You have already seen Ob, Lena rivers in this region, northern lowland region. So, this is again a very, very important region. Now, if you come towards the eastern part, this is again a very important river, which is known as Amur River. Now, Amur River is almost on the border or let us say has its basin spread to even Russia. Russia, though it is there, even in China also the basin spreads. So, we can say that it is present in Russia and China. Below that, if you come here, you have this particular river. This is known as Yellow River. Now, the Yellow River is present completely in China. It is also known as China's sorrow because of the massive flooding that it causes, right? If you come a little further south, you have this particular river. This is known as the Yangtze River. It is present completely in China. It is the longest river in Asia with a length of 6,300 kilometers. It is the lengthiest, or the longest. So, that is why you should be aware of this. When you come further south, you will realize there's a river known as Mekong River. Now, in the Mekong River, you realize it has its extent or basin is covered in the countries of China, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. So, it is not completely, its basin is not completely restricted to China. It is also present in all these countries. So, this is again a point of knowledge that you should be knowing. Again, this is Irrawaddy River. Irrawaddy River is present in Myanmar. Now, see, in India, you know that very well that we are not doing the drainage system over here extensively because we've already done in the Indian physical geography. We are just doing the major ones. You know this, the Indus River that is present in India and Pakistan. You have the Ganga River, which is present in India and Bangladesh again. And then you have the Brahmaputra, which is present in India, China, and Bangladesh. Something very important, there is a very important river. This is a Tarim River, this river. This is present in China. It is an inland river. It is a inland river. That means it does not reach the ocean or sea. So, this is again you should be aware of. Tarim River. Clear? Please mark them in your maps. Please mark them in your maps. Okay. Let's do the water bodies. Now, water bodies over here, we're talking about certain lakes or certain water bodies which are present. Now, let's see here. If you see over here, here is the Sea of Ostoshk, again in the Russian region. If you come further south, you have the Sea of Japan here. If you come to the Chinese territory, you have the Yellow Sea here. Further south you come, you have the East China Sea. These are the Philippines. This is the Philippine Sea present here. On the eastern side, on the western side, you have the South China Sea in this region, a region of dispute. If you come here, you have the Java Sea over here. You have the Java Sea over here. Please mark it down quickly. Okay. Now you have the Banda Sea over here. If you come here, you have the Bay of Bengal. You have the Arabian Sea here. If you go a little bit on the eastern side, you have the Gulf of Oman here and the Persian Gulf here. Over here is the Gulf of Aden and this is the Red Sea. Obviously, you know this is a Mediterranean Sea. You can write it down also, Mediterranean Sea. This is the Caspian Sea, this is the Aral Sea and Lake Baikal. Again, you should be aware of this. So these are the water bodies, important water bodies that you should be very well aware, and this have been repeatedly asked in your examinations also. Clear? So please write it down, mark them. Okay, let's move ahead. Deserts. Now deserts also very, very important. Please remember, when you talk about deserts, desert does not mean that it is completely a hot region, which is generally perceived. There are deserts which are hot also, there are deserts which are cold also. Similarly, in Asia, you will realize that you have certain deserts which are hot, some cold. Now, let's have a look at them. Let's see the Gobi Desert. Now, Gobi Desert is very, very predominant desert. Now, this desert is present in the regions of Mongolia and China, and it is a cold desert. Now, this has been repeatedly asked in the examinations also, name of certain deserts and asking whether it is hot or cold. So, you should be very well aware of them. So this is the Gobi Desert, present in Mongolia and China. It is cold. Similarly, if you come to this region, you have the Taklamakan Desert. Now this is present in China. It is a cold desert, this region. If you come further towards its west, you have the Kizilkum Desert here. It is present in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, and it is a cold desert. And it is a cold desert. If you come little south over here, you have the Karakum Desert. Now this is in Turkmenistan and it is basically a cold desert. If you come further towards its east, you have the Syrian Desert. Now Syrian Desert has its boundary or its presence in Syria, Iraq, Jordan, and it is a hot desert. Please remember, Syrian Desert is hot. So till now what you have read, all these are basically the cold desert. Now these deserts which I'm going to mention are the hot deserts. The Syrian Desert is a hot desert. If you come to this is the Arabian Desert. The Arabian Desert is again a hot desert, but it has its extent to various countries. Like this can be asked and has been asked in the paper also. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, UAE, Oman, Qatar, and Yemen. So these are the regions or the extent where the Arabian Desert is present, and it is a hot desert. Similarly, the Thar Desert, its extent is in India and Pakistan. It is in a hot desert. Clear? So these are the deserts which you should be very well aware of. Clear? Okay. Note it down, please. Next, let's come to the plateaus. Now again, there are a lot of plateaus also, very important plateaus, again repeatedly asked in your prelims examination. See here, this is the Siberian Plateau. I guess it is clear also. Siberian Plateau. This plateau is known as the Plateau of Mongolia. Plateau of Mongolia. Clear? Now, if you come here, this is known as the Kamchatka Peninsula or a plateau. A question for you all. Let us see how many of you can answer this. Question is, Kamchatka has been in news because of what reason? See, in the comment section, I would request you one thing, do not Google it. Why do not Google it? Because if you're Googling it, then it is not the correct pattern meter to judge yourself. If you know the answer, whether it is right or wrong, write it in the comment section, whatever you're aware of. Because in the examination, UPSC examination, such type of questions come. So there has been certain event that took place some time ago that has got to do with Kamchatka Peninsula or the Peninsula region or the Plateau region. So you have to write in the comment section, all of you, answer to this particular question. What is it associated with? What were the recent happenings that happened here? Right? Let's see how many of you can answer. And after seeing your answers, I'm going to give you a correct answer in the comment section itself. Clear? Let's see and check you. Okay, then you have the Korean Peninsula over here. If you come further south over here in the Yunnan region, that is in Yunnan region in China, you have the Malaya Peninsula, you have the Tibetan Plateau here, you have the Deccan Plateau. Again, the Arabian Plateau is present. Again, Arabian Plateau has the Arabian Desert also. So this is an Arabian Plateau. This is the Iranian Plateau, and you have the Anatolian Plateau. Anatolian Plateau, because see, the Ural Mountains are present here, but over here, because of Turkey, it is a little bit extended. So Turkey is also part of Asia. So Anatolian Plateau is present in Turkey. So these are the important plateaus that you need to know. Clear? Please note it down. Clear? So the homework for you is, write it in the comment section that Kamchatka is associated with what are the recent happenings. So this was the mapping series which we had to do with respect to Asia. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully this series which we have done, where we have covered all the 7 continents, made or contributed to you in various forms, where you could have learned various things, where you have marked a lot of things, where you have gained a lot of knowledge also. Possibly you have learned how to even draw the maps also now. So my request would be now that make sure that you revise it continuously again and again, because there are a lot of questions that are asked from the maps. If you have a command over the maps, yes, you will be able to do really well in your examinations. So we will be again coming with a lot of initiatives. So meanwhile, we are over with this series of the world mapping, where we have covered all the 7 continents. Hopefully you enjoy the series. Do let me know in the comment section how you liked it, what are your views on this, and we will love to hear from you. Take care and all the best. As you always say at the end, Jai Hind.